Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jensen with CCJ 3701 Research Methods in Criminology. Just wanted to make life easier for you. I'd had some students contact me and with different errors or challenges, and it seemed like these might be good mentions for the whole class. So I wanted to show you some tips and tricks to ease your pain in SPSS. So they came up from one of our last labs. So in Lab 4, you were working on some crosstabs and chi-squares. I'm going to show you some tricks with that as well that you can use. But let's do some of the basics first. When you're in SPSS, as far as opening data and so forth, once you have your data set open and you're starting to make changes to it, especially if you're creating new variables or recoding anything, one thing you'll want to do is after you've made your changes, you'll want to navigate to what's called the M drive. It says student file storage, and every student at the University of Florida is given this storage on this mega server at UF. And so that is your storage. And you can certainly store large data sets like SPSS in there. And so that's a good place to stick your stuff. So you can actually put your data in your student file storage drive anywhere you want. You can add new folders if you want to. You can say this is my data, and you can put your ad health data. You can say, this is my ad health data from lab 4 or lab 5, and save it. Okay, so you can actually save it there on the M drive. If you have any problems using the M drive, please let me know, because I need to make sure that you have a storage solution for working on your data. And I can work with IT to create that solution for you. But that should work just fine. So that's saving data. That way you don't lose any of your work that you do, especially making new stuff, because that can be painful to make all these variables and then all of a sudden have the server timeout, or your internet connection goes dry and you're kind of up a creek. So that's saving. Let me show you a few other things. If you happen to be in multiple data sets, I'm actually going to open up the general social survey data. So right here, you can see, I'm going to close the output viewer for the moment. Whoops, I don't want to save any changes to the output. There's really nothing there other than the fact that we opened data. You can see I actually have two data sets open. I have Ad Health and I have the general social survey. Okay, so a problem you run into when you open multiple data sets is occasionally when you're using any menus, okay, whether it's the transform menu or the analyze menu or what have you, SPSS gets confused as to where to run that function. So it says, oh, you got two data sets open here. I don't know which one's the primary or which one you're working in. And so occasionally you get these errors that say something primary data set, the function is lost, or some of those kinds of errors. And so once you're done working in one data set, you'll want to make sure that you close it, you save it, of course, and close it, and then open up your next data set. That's an internal error that SPSS has had a long time. It's kind of put there for a reason so that you're not confusing the processor that's going on inside these menus. So just keep that in mind. Just be in one data set at a time. Many statistical software packages are this way, where you're not supposed to be in more than one data set at once. So that's another thing that'll save you from some of those errors. And then last thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little bonus feature for watching these tips videos. So you remember on Lab 4, if you can tell me the answer to this question, I'll give you some extra credit. How does that sound? So I kind of built in a kind of a trick to Lab 4. So when you ran your crosstabs, we were working on these two variables, okay? So it was, your relationship with your partner and your total household income, okay? So one thing you may have noticed is, normally in a crosstab, you put the dependent variable in the row, which would have been relationship with partner, okay? And so we're going to put that back for a moment. And we're going to switch these around. And then you would have put in the columns the independent variable, which in this case would be income. If you ran this crosstab, you got this ginormous looking crosstab that you had to scroll forever and ever to try to get to the very end of all those columns. Okay, so while this is statistically correct, this thing is a monster to read and look at, and it's a monster to copy and paste, right? So it is correct as far as where all those variables go, but it's messy. So again, in a crosstab, that's what's preferred, is the dependent goes here, the independent goes here. Let me show you though, in SPSS, especially in a crosstab, you can actually reverse the order of those and then, basically get a little bit neater looking crosstab table. So we're going to take these same variables. Okay, so we're going to put this one back, and we're going to put this one in row, and then we're going to put this one back, and we're going to put that one in column. Let me show you exactly the table you get when you do that. So now we have a vertical table. It's still a monster looking table, okay, but at least it hangs vertically and you can scroll up and down, and it all fits on one page, and it's much easier to read and certainly much easier to copy and paste, that's for sure. Okay, so I didn't plan this kind of thing to give you a headache, but it was to teach you the right order of variables. When you do have really large variables like this, it just gets to be a little tedious. So here is the bonus question. So you ran a crosstab with two variables, household income and rate your relationship with your partner. Okay, so, and again, the rate relationship with partner was like 1 to 10, and then household income was in $10,000s of dollars. Okay, the question is, for the bonus question, is this the right statistic to run with these kinds of variables? Okay, you want to answer that question first, and then if it is, defend your answer. Why is it the right kind of statistic? If it isn't, defend your answer. Why isn't it the right kind of statistic? Little hint, how are these two variables measured? Are they nominal, ordinal, interval ratio? That's a big giveaway. So if you can respond to me with whether or not this was the right statistic to run for these kinds of variables, and why or why not, I'll give you some bonus points on your grade. So yeah, give me a response back, and we'll see how you do. Okay, and then later I'll reveal the answer. Okay, so hopefully these little tips and tricks made life a little bit easier for you. Again, if you're struggling working within SPSS on the apps.ufl.edu server and you're getting sick of it, or maybe the server performance isn't what you want, or it's kind of tedious working in the Windows, you are certainly welcome to download SPSS directly on your computer. And again, if you need that website to do that, it's about, I think it's $44 for a 6-month license. It's not too bad. And if you just want life to be easier, you just want a hard copy installed directly on your hard drive, the performance is a lot better. It's $44 on onthehub.com. So you just write those 3 words, onthehub.com. So onthehub.com. It's an educational vendor that's been approved to sell software. They sell the Adobe suite, they sell Microsoft products to students and faculty for an educational discount. So as long as you have a .edu email address and verify that you're a student at a university, you qualify and are eligible for the educational pricing that they have, which is why they can offer programs like SPSS for $40 for like a limited license agreement. So that's still an option available to you if you want to use the program in a different format rather than being dependent on basically a virtual client server to do it. So anyway, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you want to answer that bonus question. Thanks.